Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the tactical question would be, how does one get out of that mindset? How does one start to form a intrinsic sense of morality, or a set of principles that they judge morality by, that isn't just influenced by
repetition?
What does today's society approve of? Like, how do you get to the point where you would free your slaves, or you would hide the Jews in the attic, or you would whatever today's thing is, and not be the 95% of people who are going to go along with the other 95% of people? Like, how do you build that set of morals, and how do you even start to strengthen your internal integrity like that?
Mm-hmm. You've identified a couple points. We talked about how it's dependent on what's going on around you, but there's this time frame thing, which is like, even if I can imagine this is I suppose what you want to do is extend your time frame, even though it gets hard. But if you're like, oh no, anytime I make my child cry, I'm being a bad parent. So it's like you just become totally permissive, right? Yeah. But if you have a short time frame because you think you're going to die tomorrow, because you think, and you might, because you don't have enough food or whatever, that's going to dramatically affect your sense of right and wrong in any given context. And so, like, fuck humanity in 1,000 years, like, send me food or medical supplies or something like that, or send that to other people. And if that's your background, that's probably where you tilt towards. And again, it comes down to scarcity, the fact that we don't have enough to do everything. Mm-hmm. We don't have enough to like do interstellar space travel and take care of every human and do all of this. Even in, and I include in that, some people will push back and say, no, with capitalism, if you just took away from the rich people, but it's like, we don't have enough for everybody to be totally fulfilled with their money, and not everybody can be rich, happy, etc. So hopefully technology makes that go away, and psychedelics make that reduce, and everybody has enough always in the near future.
I think sometimes it can be confused in the media how much cash someone has versus how much wealth someone has. And so, Elon Musk, for instance, everyone's like, it's so ridiculous how much wealth Elon has. But he actually, when he was starting Tesla, was on the verge of bankruptcy with Tesla multiple times, putting in his own money to keep it going. And then Tesla was successful and he started SpaceX. And then again, SpaceX was one launch away from failing as he was putting his own money in. And I think one could look at him and say he's selfishly accumulating wealth, but someone else could look at him and go, he's actually putting a lot of his capital at risk to make these projects go. And the ones he's chosen, Tesla, he thinks global warming could be the end of all humanity. And SpaceX, he thinks that without space travel, it'll be the end of all humanity. And so basically you come to the point where, depending on how you view the world, you go, this guy's an evil, psychopathic wealth hoarder, or you go, this guy is regularly putting all of his capital at risk for projects that he picks specifically because they help people. And so I think that's where a lot of this friction or disagreement is coming from on a lot of these issues. It's just people who are looking at an elephant and, the metaphor, touching different parts of it. So if people don't know that story, it's basically a bunch of blind people, or 3 blind monks, or whatever the story goes, are introduced to an elephant for the first time, and they each reach out and touch it. And one touches its ear, one touches its trunk, one touches its tail. And then they debate what an elephant is, and they bicker, and they're all wrong because none of them can see the totality of it. And I think that's what happens a lot with the societal schisms that we have on issues, is people aren't actually that different in their values, but what they differ in is how they see the issue. I think that's how you get so many people who are anti-abortion, pro-abortion, anti-guns, pro-guns, anti-vaccine, for vaccines, and each side of each argument thinks that what they're arguing for is saving the most human quality of life years. Well, then basically.
And it also, interestingly, I think that you could imagine if you were trying to have those 3 blind men come to an answer, a conclusion, or not get mad at one another, what would really hinder them is a character limit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Would it be like, fleshy! exclamation point at other guy. And the technology that we've developed to suit the brains that we have is all about short labels that do this. And I think that's one of the reasons.
Another Elon thing that might, honestly, this whole
he might
US
do Neuralink.
Civil War And this whole China, US, Russia global standoff might be solved by Neuralink. So again, yeah, it's is this guy hoarding money or is he saving the world?
Imagine that you could just download his entire life experience.
Maybe it's both.
Yeah, if you could download his life experience, and it would all of a sudden make a lot more sense. Now, when compared to yours, you might come to a different conclusion. But yeah, it seems that one of the understanding takes time, obviously. And so when I think that's one of the Dave Chappelle things is that he called himself a TERF in the context of a joke, but I think he meant it sincerely in his understanding of it. And that word to some people is the most horrible, hateful thing ever. And to him, it's not. And it's like, he says he is this thing, which to somebody else means devil. And he means something entirely different.
With Vosh, and this is why I wish we had thrown the word racist away. We were trying to decide what's racist. And the reason it mattered is because of everything that comes with that word. Of the accepted
connotation of what it means to be racist.
Because at the end of the day, Vosh's definition was like everyone, black, white, or otherwise, who's
Republican.
who's in the U.S. because he said everyone is racist. It's like, this isn't what people mean when they say fire that racist.
Yeah.
You don't mean fire that human. They mean fire this person who has damaging, terrible, extreme beliefs of racism.
Well, this is the semantic problem, I think, in so many arguments, is we implicitly accept the connotations of the word racist, which is like to be frowned upon, potentially fireable, all of these things, and then have very different definitions of what it is and argue about it without what I tried to do in that conversation is just like, and this doesn't work, by the way, for discussions. It's just like, dude, you can have the word. It can mean whatever you want to do. I'm just going to then not attach the connotation to it.
No, it doesn't work. It's a terrible
do not
strategy.
like that, because then it's like, okay, yeah, like you're racist, I'm a racist, everybody's a racist, but that doesn't matter given your definition.
No, that's a very
work at all.
Very ineffective persuasion technique that I would not recommend.
People don't follow you to the decoupling when they morph the meaning of a word from its common usage, which has with it a prescribed a prescription, a connotation, an outcome. And when you say, okay, I'll allow you to change the word, but you have to allow me to decouple the prescription, they don't go there with it.
No, and neither does an audience.
Yes. No, it doesn't work at all. So hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.